Hi, I'm Sarah Forster, Deputy News Editor here at The National, and this is A Closer Look, our chance to give you a bit of a behind-the-scenes look at one of our stories from this week as we talk directly to the reporter. Now, the UAE is known for continually developing new residential areas, and they each have their own unique selling point. One of these is Jubail Island Villas, surrounded by Abu Dhabi's iconic mangroves. We sent our reporter Anjana Sankar down to find out more about this latest addition to the Abu Dhabi real estate sector.
Abu Dhabi's latest real estate development is nestled among the Emirates' biggest ecological asset, the mangrove forests. Jubail Island is a 10 billion project sandwiched between Saadiyat Island and Yas Island, and once completed, it will have a cluster of residential villages that offer high-end living, which is also sustainable. But what is it like living in a biodiversity hotspot? Let's check it out.
Well, Anjana has raced back to the office to have a chat with me now. Thank you for coming in, Anjana. So let's talk. Here's my first question, right? Like, why should we care? There's so many developments in the UAE all the time. Jubail Island is just another one. What makes this one stand out?
Okay, it's not another one. I was there this morning, and while driving, I saw a billboard which said, nature's blessing every day. So it looked a bit like that when I was there. Because I think the USP of the whole place is where it is located. It's surrounded by mangrove forests, which is rich in biodiversity, and it's a route for migratory birds. And where you live, there's a rich wildlife. So I'm assuming you will spot nice animals and birds when you live there. And I don't think we have anything like that in Abu Dhabi. So where it is located within a biodiversity hotspot, I think that's why Jubail Island is a very, very different from other real estate developments, I would say.
Funnily enough, actually, my parents used to live right next to the mangroves a few years ago, and I was visiting them once, and I saw two black swans just paddling past the balconies, and I just thought, what are the odds? Anyway, that's just something you only really get in Abu Dhabi, right? So, like you say, there's a lot of nature around. What did the developers do to make sure that they didn't step all over it or damage anything? What was their thinking when it came to that?
Yeah, it's a very low dense construction when you drive around the place. The villas are nicely spread out, and only 30 to 35% of Jubail Island is being used for construction. So the rest of 65 of that whole place is left as a natural reserve with mangroves, with water bodies, all of that. So, there's no high intense construction happening. So that's one thing that they have done. And also there's 1 million square meters of park and open spaces that will come up within the property. So they have ensured that the mangroves, which is protected reserve in Abu Dhabi, they are also building nature while they're building villas there. So the developers have already planted 430,000 mangrove trees already, and in the next 2 years, by the time the construction will be over, they are aiming to have a total of 1 million mangrove trees planted.
A lot of mangrove trees.
Yeah, that's a lot of mangroves. Yeah.
So we're talking high numbers. Let's talk money. Let's talk about how much does this project cost, and when is the handover date to be expected?
Okay. I can't afford it. It's a lot of money. Yeah. So we are talking about, it's a 10 billion dirhams project. 10 billion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And I think the first handover of the villas will happen by September 2023, that is less than a year. Yeah, so construction is happening in full swing.
But from what I understand, we don't know how much the villas themselves are actually going to be priced at.
No, they haven't put out the price yet, but it looks like very high-end villas of 5 to 6 bedroom villas.
Yeah.
And there are townhouses and residential apartments, but we don't know how they are priced. But I would think that this is a very high-end, luxurious real estate
Going
development.
to be quite the sought after location.
Yes.
And so what do you think that this new development is doing to how is this changing the face of Abu Dhabi real estate sector?
Landscape. Yeah, I think Abu Dhabi, when compared to Dubai, it is a very balanced approach to its real estate development. Last week we got a sneak peek into the design aspects of the Saadiyat Grove, which is another prime real estate development, which is like in the middle of a cultural district. So this one is in the mangroves. So I think Abu Dhabi is really cherry picking where it wants its prime real estate developments should be. So I think once it is completed, the Jubail Island project and also the Saadiyat Grove, it's definitely going to put Abu Dhabi on the global map as a safe and global city where, and it's much sought after for families to come and settle. I think it's going to add a lot of value into the luxurious high-end property market in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. I mean, I think Abu Dhabi is already known as one of the safest places in the world to live, but you can always be a bit safer, right? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Anjana, and explaining a little bit more about the story for us. And thank you very much for watching. Please join us next week on The National's A Closer Look.